Alright guys, today's video I'm going to be talking about my trades I made on Friday. Obviously I didn't get a chance to upload the video on Friday, and I want to share some of the thoughts I had. It was another green day on Friday, so I did good. Made a total of, in total, $26 on my trade. I know it's not huge amounts of dollars, but when you're starting out, just making 20 bucks a day is a good thing because it just brings in consistency, base hits, things like that. And you're starting to earn an income as you go, and you start to build up that base of income that you have, and start growing this thing and start realizing that, hey, I have a success rate, I have things in place, and I'm starting to grasp some of these concepts that I'm learning and starting to build out this trading business of mine. And overall, I came in today with the top. One of the top stocks today was CREV. It had news on it yesterday that I felt like was good news on it. Something I can't remember what it is. Carbon Snacks. So yeah, this was a company that was building something for GM's Corvette, and so I think that was a positive news on it. And right at 7 o'clock, that's when I knew, like, some of the bigger traders and market brokerages come online, and the volume starts to really creep up. I think Thinkorswim and maybe E-Trade come online at 7 a lot of times, and that's where a lot of volume you'll see like really creep in. Now I use Webull, and I can actually start trading at 4 o'clock in the morning if I want to, and I don't typically do that because there's just not tons of volume there. But I find that 7 o'clock there's going to be this burst of volume, and you will learn that as if you start to trade too. And if you are trading, you know that like at certain times of the day you're going to have this burst of volume. And I find like 7 o'clock in the morning, the opening bell at 9:30 in the morning tend to have these bursts of volumes because there's just more people coming online at that point in time in the day. Not saying you can't trade it earlier times in the day or later times in the day. It just seems like those tend to be the points where most people are getting in and starting the day and trading. So today I came in and I was looking at my scanners, and I found a couple of stocks, two of them particularly that I really found good. One was Wint, and then the other was this CREV. I'll get to both of these here in just a second because I did take a trade on Wint, but we'll get over that here in a second. So let's start with just CREV here and just what I found with this particular stock. So I went and I looked at all the metrics, the things I'm normally looking for. So the float, which is the supply, 1.51 million, which was great. And then we looked at average volume, which was 145,000, and we had a volume, I think it was higher than this actually, but 8.8 million. So we were definitely at a high volume. We want to be at 5 times relative volume according to what Ross Cameron teaches. If you're not familiar who that is, that's the person who is my mentor. I've been following his YouTube channel since March and basically learning all of what he's teaching and following and built my strategy based on a lot of what he is teaching. And basically that's helping me figure out what stocks to pick and stuff like that. So basically the volume is high, so there's a lot of people trading it. The float is low, so the supply is low, which means there's not as much, which is going to help push up the price action. And then on top of that, we want to know if there's news. A lot of times, so this one had news on it yesterday with that Chevy deal with Corvette and stuff like that. So obviously that's a big deal right there. So it at 7 o'clock, guess what happened? I think this would have been 7, started to push up a little bit. I got in right here, right at the top of this candle right here. So I was in low, right close to this moving average, the 9 moving average. So I'm at the bottom of 1068. I'm going to see what I got in at. Oh, lost that. So I got in at, let's go back to here. I got in, let's see, 11.99 I got on this. Now, one thing that was kind of a downside to this, since you're starting with a smaller account, and I'm testing myself on a small account here because I want to learn how to build a small account up. I don't want to start with $1 million because I don't have $1 million to start with. I have $1,000. That's what I plan to start with. So I want to know, how am I going to build out with this $1,000? And so I can only buy 50 shares of this stock because I bought in at $11.99. So I got in right, let's see, just filled a little bit high, but I was right at about the top of this candle here, $11 almost. And then I rode that all the way up until, let's see, I got all the way till 12.35. So 12.35 I got there. And so then I turn around, and so 1235 I would have got in up at about here. No, wait, it's about right up in here. So I got in up to here. Now, honestly, I should have held this trade a lot longer. Actually, what I should have done, and I didn't do it, I should have, this thing started to dip, I should have sold 100 and then rebought back in for a next leg up, taken profit, and then once it started to go green again, buy back in and rode the next leg up. And that's, now after seeing it the way it was going, I obviously knew, because a couple of things that were real big signals that was going to go that way. First off, the MACD was wide open. We're wide open on the MACD, so that means we're good. So when we're down in here, this wasn't as good. It just started to spring up, went sideways, and then it really broke loose, obviously on this candle here where I got in. And then it started to really bounce up, the MACD really wide open, and then look at this, 200 VWAP, 20 moving average, 9 EMA right here. So when I see this is a great thing. This is where things are really spread out. This is where we know that we should be in this trade. We should be doing this right here, because, and there was multiple trades. You could have I got in here, you should have got here, and then you could even taken a dip trade right here and rode this up as well. This would have been a nice little scalp trade right at the top here. So you could have definitely seen some here. Now it would have been tough to hang on to this, but since this candle right here at the top was pushed way up, that still meant that the bulls were in charge, that this isn't done yet. Even though the candles were starting to get smaller, I noticed that, you know, once we got to this candle, we realized, like, hey, now we're getting into like a spinning top, and something along that range. That means, you know, the bulls are waning. But when we were on this candle, we were still good yet. So the only downside would have been I might have cut out about right here if I was on this candle, because we want candle under candle, and obviously that was a trigger to get out of the trade. So, but I didn't hold it as long as I should have. I should have actually bought back in, and I did buy back in on a second trade on this, but I didn't hold it long enough. And I know that if I'd have just done that, see, I bought in at 1376. So let's go back here. I think I was at 1376. So I was way up in here, filled way too high, should have filled way down here, and it was just the wrong spot because we were way off the 9 moving average at that point. Shouldn't have taken that trade and just left well enough alone. But it did, for some reason, it showed a positive gain on my return. Don't know why, but it did. So I'm just taking it for what it is, and obviously the computer knows best, so I'm not going to try to understand their mathematical computations and stuff like that. But that's how it was. Now, would this actually work in real life since I'm on a paper trade account? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm going to just take them for the grain of salt and just go with what Webull is telling me, and then I had $20.50 gain on that particular trade. So let's go back here and just kind of, as overall, good trade. I should have held a little bit longer on this the next candle. I should have taken a dip trade here possibly, or possibly just held off, taken some profit, and just rode the rest of this up. I think there was some definite possibilities there. The only problem with it overall, though, I couldn't get more than 50 shares, because once you got to 50 or 75 shares, I was really at the max limit, since I only have a $1,100 account right now. But overall, not too bad. Now, my second trade for the day was on WINT. This trade also has a little bit of news with it, I think. And if I remember right, the volume was up high, 48 million over 845,000 roughly. And then our float was at less than, just a little above 500,000. And that's usually a good recipe. And that's why I was kind of looking at this stock, especially going into the open, like this thing could take off big time. And the problem with it was, at the open, it started to take off, and I bought in, and guess what? This candle right here, I bought in, I think it was this candle. Yeah, I bought in on this candle, and then it just plummeted. So, not so good. Then we had this big red candle volume bar here. Not so good. So I broke out really quick, got in, got out, and just realized it was a bad trade, but I only lost $12.50. Not a big deal, but I just realized it was a bad move right off the bat. and I needed to basically get out of there, get out quick. So, and that's what I did. So, and that's the thing, when you find that a trade is not going to work, like it's just going against the grain, you need to get out as quickly as possible. You need to cut the loss and just move on, because when you're using a broker like Webull, I mean, there's no commissions on Webull. There's going to be a slight fee for the transmission of the trade through the NASDAQ and stuff like that. So there's going to be a fee there, but it's not huge fees or anything like that. It's not going to be tons and tons of money you're going to lose on that. So, like if you're using like a commission broker, like some people do use, and they still exist, but they offer certain things that free commission trade brokers don't offer. But my suggestion is using Webull in the beginning, because it's one of the easier brokerages to use. It's simple and easy to use. Overall, it gives you that. It's just, honestly, it's an easy broker to use. Now, one thing I should have noticed when I got in this trade, though, on WINT, was the fact that, look where the MACD was at. It was not wide open, nowhere close. I should have seen this and was like, nope, we're going to go negative on the MACD. It's not going to be a good trade. It's probably going to be a false breakout on this trade. And now that I look at it and I see it, I'm like, yeah, that is exactly what was going to happen there. And I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have taken the trade. I should have just left well enough alone and just moved on with life. So overall, it was kind of funny after that. I guess, I don't know, funny, but this thing really just sold off after that. When you look at this stock right after that, it just now I did try to make a new high here. I don't think it did. Now it didn't even come close. It tried to come back up here. This might have been a spot to buy in. It kind of did a lot of coming up. It came up, but then it went sideways, and then it shot back up. And I think maybe you could have formed a wedge pattern right here to figure out that trade was probably going to do that right there. That's probably, if I would draw a wedge pattern right there, I'd probably find that, honestly, it could have, if I connect a few candles right here like this. And I could do, let's see, one coming off of there, and then let's grab one right here. And we could see that, this might be forming a wedge, might have been forming a wedge in there or something like that, but I don't know. I don't think it would have been hard to tell, honestly, if you could say, well, we're riding right along there, we're catching the top of that, and maybe it's going to catch, let's see if I can adjust this just right. Yeah, it probably made a wedge right there. So we could tell overall that this was going to do that right about there, if you were really paying attention to it. And when it's doing that sideways consolidation, if you do get that, you can start to spot that. And if it has strong news, yeah, you could probably do something great with it there. I mean, you might catch that trade and be able to make that little ride right there and make it good. Now, the one downside to it is it's below VWAP. So, bears are in charge when we're under VWAP. So, and it didn't come much above, and it shot right back down though. So honestly, I don't think there was going to be as much volume there. We did have some good volume bars there, but look here, as soon as it got past that, boom. I mean, right there in this one candle, we had 218,000 shares of volume. Drop that right now. So, I mean, it was pretty big sell, pretty bad jackknife right there. So you wouldn't want to be in that spot, because you're going to lose really bad, lose some money if you're in that spot right there. So, all right, let's just review the metrics since the week is over. Let's see how I did for the week overall. So in week 4 of July of 2024, I did $172.40. So pretty good. I think one of my best weeks in a while. I mean, if I look back at June, I think my best week in June would have been $5. So obviously much better. I don't think I tracked by week back in May, but I can look at July here. Honestly, I think we're improving a little bit. We had 2 green weeks, but one thing I did calculate, a couple of things. First off, my profit to loss ratio, my winners were twice as big as my losers. If you look at my average trade, green trade, $72.95. You look at my average red trade, $36.42. That's half. It's 2 to 1. So that means my green winners were twice as big as my losses. So we have, let's see. And then I also calculated on a per week basis here, just what, I'll put that there. But basically, what was my profit to loss ratio or my success ratio per week. And what I can find is that 57% of my trades, 5 out of 4, that's what I did for that week. So 57% green. I mean, that's great. That's in good numbers right there. That's a good position to be in. My next best week was obviously this one where I did 50-50. But I still had a loss on it because my losses were bigger than my gains, obviously, when I had this $102 loss in the first week. But then, week 3 was probably my worst week so far. Overall, I don't know, could have been better. Yes. I think overall this week I had a lot going on, and I took one trade each day, and I don't even think I didn't take one on the 16th. I didn't take one on the 25th this week here either. But I just felt like these trades here, it's getting better. We are getting in the best. We're going in the right direction. Our total monthly P&L is $110.10. So we're in the right position. We're going in the right direction. I don't think June was a profitable month. No, we lost $36 in June. And in May, when I first started this, I think, yeah, I was actually, it was positive $36. So May and June were literally washes to each other, a wash. And then this month, positive growth. So we are in the right position. The market is a little hotter right now, which is great. And it's also helping me catch some better trades. I noticed this month, one big thing that really did help me out a lot was the fact that most of my trades were above that 10 cents per share limit, which I'm really pushing for. Out of the let's see, 8 green trades I had, 7 were above 10 cents. So my accuracy is really getting better. It is getting better. All but one trade I've taken on my green trades were all above 10 cents. And that's good because when you go back to June, I didn't have that as much. I had, let's see, I had that one. That was 4 cents. That was 5 cents. That was 1 cent. That was 1 cent. That was break even. 11 cents, 10 cents. So, I mean, it was about 50-50 here in July. It was all but one trade on my green trades. On my red trades, though, yeah, we lost, honestly, we lost a bit here. But overall, if I can get away from making some of these bad choices for trades, start to just calm down, take the trade when it's right, really look at the indicators and go, hey, I'm going to get on my momentum trade. I'm going to pick a micro pullback. Typically, that's the one that I find works the best for me as a beginner, and go with that. And just when things are starting to really move up, wait for that micro pullback, jump in, get close to support, and ride the momentum all the way up. And just hang on as long as I can for that and wait for an exit indicator. So there you go. There is my week for this week and what I made for trades. And overall, I felt like it was a great week. One of my best weeks in a long time. So I'm happy. I'm good. I think if I can keep doing weeks like this every single week, we're going to be well on our way to going live with an actual money account and getting to that point. So I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I hope you guys are following along. So if you are, I'd like to see you guys follow along with me. So I have looking for subscribers. If you want to be a subscriber, follow along with me as I learn to trade. You can see what I'm doing and follow me on a daily basis as I post these videos and share my thoughts. So go ahead and click the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.